Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for what is hopefully, after a late Steelers game last night, a quick Monday edition of the Steel City Sports Report. We talk all things Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and today's report includes: is George Pickens in the doghouse? Penguins set opening night roster, Steelers going overseas, and more. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the Steel City Sports Report. Now, let's get into the first news story of the day. Is George Pickens in the doghouse? Sunday Night Football was not a good night on many fronts for Steelers wide receiver George Pickens. In the Black and Gold's 20-17 loss to the Cowboys, Pickens was held to just 3 catches on 7 targets for 26 yards. This performance looks doubly bad as Pickens decided to write on his nose tape for the game the words, "always effing open." Pickens only played 34 of 58 offensive snaps and was outsnapped by Van Jefferson and Calvin Austin. He didn't even play a single snap on one drive in the second half, and for some of the 34 snaps Pickens played, he looked disinterested or in some cases completely checked out. The absence of Pickens on the field did not go unnoticed by most fans and media. After the game, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin was questioned on why Pickens wasn't one of the top players for snaps on offense in the game. Tomlin responded, we just wanted to kind of minimize his reps in an effort to get more productivity. We're just trying to rep manage in terms of the totality of the big picture. He wasn't less of a focal point in terms of our intentions of what we wanted to do offensively, but we did want to cut his reps a little bit in an effort to get higher quality play, just in general. It's no different than when we minimize some of the snaps of D linemen like Cam Hayward and so forth. It is just about snap management. It's no underlying story, to be quite honest with you. There's no way that anyone, especially Tomlin himself, believes a single syllable of what he uttered in that quote. When you are in a close game like that, with the quality of an opponent like the Cowboys, there is no way that you leave one of your most dynamic players on the bench that much. It's also a bad look when you compare limiting reps for a 23-year-old George Pickens to 35-year-old Cam Hayward. It's almost like saying in baseball terms, we want to put Paul Skeens on the same pitch limit as Rich Hill. Not comparing Hayward to Hill, of course, because Cam has been fantastic. With only having 3 receptions and just over half of the offensive snaps played, Pickens is being left off the field for some reason other than rest. If the former Georgia Bulldog wasn't in Tomlin's doghouse during the game, he may be there now following his actions at the end of the game. After the final play, Cowboys corner Jordan Lewis ran towards and appeared to say something to George, before Pickens grabbed Lewis by the face mask and slung him down to the ground pretty effortlessly. In the tunnel to the Cowboys locker room after the game, Lewis said, "Pittsburgh needs a receiver. George Pickens weak." Pickens' performance and apparent attitude is just one of many problems that the Steelers' offense is having right now, and things need to change in a hurry to salvage a much-needed good start to the season. TJ Watt breaks sack mark. Really, one of the only positives from Sunday night's game against the Cowboys is that outside linebacker TJ Watt reached another milestone. The all-time sack leader in Steelers history recorded his 100th career sack against the Cowboys. It's remarkable that Watt accomplished this feat in only 109 career games. He will have more opportunities to get sacks as his playing time will undoubtedly increase following injuries to Nick Herbig and DeMarvin Leal on Sunday night. Congrats, TJ, on sack 100. Steelers getting aggressive for Adams. Over the weekend, more updates were given on the situation involving disgruntled Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams and the possibility of him being traded to Pittsburgh. Starting off with a Saturday report from The Athletic's Diana Rossini, the Steelers are making an aggressive offer to the Raiders for the 3-time All-Pro receiver. Adams did not play in this weekend's Raiders loss to the Broncos due to a hamstring injury. But according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, the 31-year-old is expected to be healthy this week and could be moved as early as Tuesday. Rappaport continued reporting that the Saints, Bills, Steelers, and Jets remain the 4 teams in the mix for Adams, with the Saints and presumably the Jets being the most aggressive right now. ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter says that the Raiders and owner Mark Davis are still requiring at least a second-round draft pick in return for Adams, with additional assets that could be a player or another pick. For the Steelers, it will most likely be a second-rounder plus another pick in their offer, as they just do not have any players to give back in a trade right now. Jordan Schultz of the Schultz Report added that the Raiders are not looking to retain any money remaining on Adams' massive $44 million per year contract. This Monday, things are looking very bleak for the Steelers on the field and now off the field with the unlikelihood of landing Adams. However, we will monitor the Steelers' trade situation with the Raiders until Adams is moved. Steelers going overseas. An exciting report for Steelers fans abroad came out Sunday morning from ESPN senior writer Don Van Natta Jr. Van Natta Jr. confirms that the Pittsburgh Steelers are, quote, a lock to play in the first ever NFL regular season game in Dublin, Ireland. The Steelers, being one of the two teams chosen to go to Ireland, comes to no one's surprise, as the team's ownership has deep Irish ethnic roots. The Rooney family is of Irish descent, and former Steelers owner Dan Rooney even served as U.S. ambassador to Ireland from 2009 to 2012. I do not believe a year is set yet for this venture, but it will be fun to watch the Steelers travel overseas to where I'm sure lots of black and gold fans in Ireland await them. And finally, Pittsburgh Penguins opening night roster is set. Hockey is finally back this week as the Pittsburgh Penguins open up their 2024-2025 season on Wednesday night at home against the New York Rangers. But before we get to Wednesday night, the Penguins needed to finalize their opening night roster by 5 p.m. on Monday. Firstly, here's an update of the Penguins roster transactions from this past weekend. All players who were put on waivers Friday cleared, except for defenseman John Ludwig, who was claimed by the Colorado Avalanche. On Sunday morning, the Pens placed forward Boko Imama and defenseman Sebastian Aho on waivers, and now we wait to see if both of those players clear. Now, on to this morning. The Penguins assigned standout 18-year-old defenseman Harrison Brunick to his junior team, the Kamloops Blazers of the WHL. In the afternoon, the Penguins placed forwards Blake Lizotte and Brian Rust, as well as goaltender Alex Nedeljkovic on injured reserve to start the season. In addition, they placed forward Matt Nieto on long-term IR, and forward Vasily Ponomarev was labeled as a non-roster injured player. This leaves the Penguins' opening night roster with 13 forwards, 7 defensemen, and 2 goaltenders, with those making the team listed as follows. Aside from Harrison Brunick not making it, I love seeing forwards who are fighting for spots such as McGroarty, Glass, and Puustinen all make the team to start the season. It is also great to see that Erik Karlsson is not starting the year on IR, and was a full participant in practice on Monday, as he said this past weekend that he expects to be ready for the opener with ease. Seeing the opening night roster gets me juiced that Penguins hockey is merely 48 hours away, and I can't wait to see what the new season has in store. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up a Monday edition of the Steel City Sports Report. Again, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow with some more Pittsburgh sports news.